I am talking about genuine peace, the kind of peace that makes life on earth worth living, the kind that enables men and nations to grow and to hope.
I think we can all agree it's been a very long road. No doubt have we witnessed and went through so very much. Members of the deep state are now panicking about their conspiracies unraveling. The deep state has been plaguing the Trump administration since before day one during his presidential campaign in 2016. Entrenched bureaucrats thought they could leak damaging stories and leak classified information, almost one leak per day of his first year in office, and help work to undermine the Trump presidency. But they have just been put on notice, and some are very worried that their days are now numbered. The conservative media outlets have been working tirelessly to help shine a bright light on the past Obama loyalists and the past administration and the career bureaucrats that have been entrenched in D.C. for 30 plus years for some of them. And they have fought the Trump administration at every single turn. Patriot Hour. If you're not following, I highly suggest you follow along. He does great work. Ha ha ha. Alright, if Trump was involved in the pedophilia stuff, then Epstein and G. Maxwell wouldn't have been arrested like the past administrations. Trump wouldn't have written executive orders on human trafficking violations. When you ignore it, it's called covering it up. Take it a step further up here. Logic 101, when you ignore human trafficking crimes and Epstein or G-Max were never arrested, it's called covering it up. If you don't ignore it, then it's called draining the swamp. See? Logic. Another great one here. Years in office, 44 years for Joe Biden, 38 years for Schumer, and 32 years for Pelosi. But they're going to fix things this time. They promise.
But they differ in rather the same way that the colors of light of
you got red light, green light, and that's just a picture of the mask that somebody made and sent me in here to the studio. We got back up to 16.3 somehow. I don't know. I think it was at 16.2, but that dropped down to 15.8, where we were at for a very long time. Okay, again, we're going to jump into one here at I Have Not Yet Begun to Pounce. Brian Katz doing great work. And just kind of going over the voting stuff. We've gone over this as well. We do not want to do a national mail-in where everything's mailed in. Democrats just found out their gambit of holding the relief bill hostage to try and force their way to the national mail-in voting is dead. It's all about turnout now. And guess what? The Biden campaign has no ground game. No, really. They don't have one. I've known for 3 years now that Trump team under Parscale's leadership never stopped building their ground game after the 2016 election. And I knew that Biden has no ground game. Yes, even before Political acknowledged it. Trump's campaign knocks on millions of doors a week. Biden knocks on zero. Even some mainstream media outlets are pulling the curtain back and revealing the Biden campaign isn't quite real. We got Michael Arens here, verified account, communications director. Axios, Trump is registering more new voters than Democrats in key states. Politico, Trump's campaign knocks on millions of doors a week. Biden knocks on zero. Fox, Trump campaign makes voter registration gains in 3 key battleground states. Voter fraud was the last desperate hope of this National Democratic Party. They spent the last few months literally driving voters away in blue states while they committed political suicide on every front. Without national mail-in voting, they're doomed. You have to get within 5% to even have a remotest shot at flipping a state's votes for reps, senators, and presidents with ballots found after Election Day. When Democrats found voters after Election Day to flip over a dozen House races in California in 2018, it took them over a week. You have to have a large enough base left to make it close enough to steal. Starting to get the picture? The millions of now former Democratic voters who can't wait to pay this lunatic party back for what's it's been doing to their families. How are you missing them? Most of these former Democrats flipped on to Trump and the GOP after the 2018 midterm election, when they say just how vast a leap to the radical far left their party took. A leap that has actually accelerated and has become more blatant during this pandemic. I would have to agree hugely. So I'm telling you now, you can quote me on this, the Democratic base started shrinking in 2019, and since the start of this year it has shrunk even more. The Democratic leadership knows this. Knows this, which is exactly why they were so determined to get mail-in voting. And that's what we're talking about here, folks. They get that mail-in voting will never, ever get the results if they're not what they want. It'll be delayed for months upon months, if ever. They not only need mail-in voting to cheat to have a shot to win this time around, they knew they needed to cheat on such a massive, never-before-attempted scale because millions of their former voters crossed over. They did #walkaway over to join Trump and the GOP. I keep telling the fear porn peddlers, the #walkaway from Democrats movement and at Brandon Starka and Scott Pressler exemplify is 100% real. I don't care if you dismiss it or say it doesn't matter. I did the research. You didn't. Don't at me and waste my time arguing. You can find literally thousands of just black Americans proudly posting their own #walkaway campaign videos on social media. Democrats lost too much. Their insanity drove too much of their own base away. I'm telling you, they can't close the gap with fraud. So to sum it up, the only pathway to the national mail-in voting now is for Democrats to sue in the courts. And the Supreme Court just ruled last month EOs can't be reversed. We're in week 3 of Trump's 8-week plan. End. And he puts here in addendum, once again, all morons running around D.C. and the DNC media loudly pontificating that Trump has no legal authority to do these EOs. Have no idea what they're babbling about. We got Trump wins. Thread explains why everything Trump did with COVID relief orders is legal. And sorry, not sorry, Democrats. So imagine suing Trump for literally taking care of Americans. Not a great look, Democrats. And while many are questioning whether or not Trump did is legal or constitutional, this thread lays it out pretty decent case for why everything he did will stand. We got Christian Lamar here at Christian Lamar. Who gave President Trump the power to cancel payroll taxes in the event of a declared disaster? Well, Trump hater John Kasich and Billy Clinton. 26 U.S. Code 7508A Alpha. Authority to postpone certain deadlines by reason of presidential declared disaster or terroristic or military action. We are reminded of the time Harry Reid nuked the filibuster. Democrats and wannabe Democrats like John Kasich never think beyond the time when they have power. They literally made it possible for Trump to politically disseminate Democrats yesterday, which makes it even more delicious. Keep going. In the case of the taxpayer determined by Secretary to be affected by federally declared disaster, the Secretary may specifically for a period up to 1 year that may be disregarded in determining under the international revenue laws in respect of any tax liability of such taxpayer. So there you go. He lays it out. And gosh, it's a federal disaster right now, yes? The amount of any interest, penalty, additional, or amount of addition to the tax periods for such date. The amount of any credit or refund. Again, he shows exactly where that's at and what section. 2, the amount of interest, penalty, additional amount, or an additional tax periods for such date. Those inconvenient laws and stuff. Taxpayer Relief Act of 1997, Public Law 105 through 34, August 5th of 1997. It gives you the exact link. Congress gave up their power to the president in this 1997 law passed by both parties. So when Democrats or Democratic media got on television in front of the camera complaining about President Trump usurping or violating Article 1 power, that is simply not true. Trump wins. And from Nancy Pelosi's reaction, you can see she knows it well as we do. Yep, they gave the executive way more power than it was originally intended over the past 30 years, probably to use against us, and now it'll be used against them. I love it every day. Great argument. The law should have been unconstitutional, but here we are. You're fabulous. I didn't know this. Thanks, Billy Boy and Johnny Boy. Who knew? Bubba did something right. Oh, Bubba Clinton. Teflon Bill. And I just want to give a big shout out here at the Patriot Hour. We just hit 216,000. Unbelievable. We're just at not quite 3 years, folks. I mean, we started here in February 10th of 2018. So February 10th of, 2021 will be 3 years. So here, 48 million views. We really appreciate it. Thank you so much. Unbelievable. All right, well, there you have it. I am Michael. This is the Patriot Hour. God bless, Godspeed to each and every one of you. Again, all links are down below. Patriot Fest is a go for this Friday, August 14th. Friday night live show and JT Wild live concert will be streamed. And if you are close enough in the area to make it to the Bristol American Legion in Bristol, Indiana, give an email, drop a link. If you, we appreciate all the support. Again, the links are down below. Reach out to us and make sure you're subscribed. Again, have a great Monday morning into your afternoon. I'm Michael. God bless. And where we go one, we go all.